During World War II, German soldiers had a name they whispered only in the dark. A name spoken with warning and fear. Not paratroopers, not armored divisions, not even the feared Soviet shock troops. It was a group much smaller, much quieter, and far deadlier. They called them the Black Death. These were the U.S. Army Rangers, elite American soldiers whose raids were so sudden, so precise, and so ruthless that entire German units panicked at the mere rumor of their presence. Today, we dive deep into the real reasons why German troops feared U.S. Rangers more than any other Allied force. Stay with me, because the truth is even more shocking than the legend. German interrogations from captured soldiers repeatedly mention the same thing. They didn't know where Rangers came from. They didn't know how many there were. They didn't even know what they looked like. But they knew this: where Rangers appeared, German positions disappeared. Ranger raids were silent, surgical, and brutal. They attacked at night, through cliffs, through forests, through impossible terrain. German soldiers began calling them Die unsichtbaren Kämpfer, the invisible fighters. And visibility is everything in war. The U.S. Army Rangers were inspired by the British Commandos, masters of irregular warfare. But America wanted something more. Faster, fiercer, unpredictable. Volunteers were hand-picked. Training was ruthless. Half washed out. The rest became something the Germans had never seen before. Small teams of elite soldiers trained to strike behind enemy lines. While the regular U.S. Army fought massive battles, Rangers were busy cutting out the enemy's throat in the dark. German High Command left behind written reports that revealed one shocking truth: the Rangers terrified them strategically. Why? Because Rangers attacked weak points the Germans didn't even know they had. Radar stations, artillery nests, cliffside defenses, communication cables, isolated garrisons, patrol routes. Rangers weren't just fighters. They were surgical weapons, removing German defenses one nerve at a time. And that made them unpredictable, the most dangerous quality on a battlefield. In 1942, during the raid on Dieppe, a small group of U.S. Rangers joined British and Canadian forces. Though the raid itself was a disaster, one thing shocked the Germans. The Americans they captured were different. Younger, fitter, more aggressive, more determined. One German officer wrote, "These Americans are unlike the others. They fight like men with nothing to lose." That reputation spread, and it stuck. Sicily, 1943. Rangers landed first, not to assault a beach, but to silently infiltrate behind Italian lines. They neutralized coastal artillery before the main Allied forces even touched land. Italian units surrendered instantly. Germans, however, were horrified. They found bodies with knife wounds, clean, silent kills. The rumor began: Americans have assassins. This myth spread through the ranks faster than any Allied propaganda. The Germans did have elite troops of their own, the Fallschirmjäger, the feared paratroopers. When these two forces finally clashed, German commanders expected to overpower the Rangers with superior training. Instead, they were stunned. Rangers fought with a level of aggression that German elites described as inhuman. Rangers didn't retreat. They didn't surrender. They counterattacked, constantly. A captured German paratrooper said, "We were taught Americans fear close combat. These ones ran toward it." This completely shattered German psychological assumptions. One of the most terrifying confrontations happened in Italy. Germans were stationed on a rocky cliff. They believed it was impossible to climb. But that night, they heard something. Not boots, not metal, just breathing. Then suddenly, Rangers appeared out of the darkness. Close combat, knives, grenades shoved into bunkers, gunfire echoing in enclosed stone caves. Survivors were left traumatized. One German record called it the night the Americans came from the rocks. The word Ranger became synonymous with night attack in German trenches. June 6, 1944. This was the day the Rangers earned eternal fear. Imagine being a German gunner. Cliffs in front of you. Impossible to climb. Waves crashing violently. And yet, out of the smoke, ropes fly upward. Hooks attach. American soldiers climb the vertical cliffs under machine gun fire and grenades thrown from above. Some fall. Others keep climbing. By the time the Rangers reach the top, only a fraction are still alive. But those few take out the gun batteries anyway. A German commander later wrote, "These Americans do not understand death. They climb into it." German troops believed they had just fought supernatural soldiers. And in a way, they had. The German fear of U.S. Army Rangers wasn't based on numbers. It was based on behavior. They were unpredictable. They attacked at night. They scaled cliffs. They used knives. They took out entire defensive lines with small squads. They never surrendered, and they kept coming, even when outnumbered, even when wounded. In war, fear isn't logical, it's emotional, and the Rangers mastered the art of psychological impact. They were ghosts with rifles, assassins with discipline, and angels of death for the German war machine. The German fear of the U.S. Army Rangers didn't end with the war. It became part of military history, part of myth, part of what made the Rangers legendary. Today, when young soldiers earn the Ranger tab, they carry the legacy of those men who terrified one of the strongest armies in the world. The legacy of courage, relentless drive, and impossible missions achieved. If you enjoyed this deep dive and want more stories about the soldiers, battles, and secrets that shaped our world, make sure to subscribe to ConflictFrame. Hit the like button and stay with us. More amazing history is coming. Thank you for watching. And remember, history isn't just what happened, it's what survived.